What is up, guys? My name is Richie, and today I do not only have a full tutorial of how to create a DoorDash, fully randomized DoorDash, I also have the full map to play with the full game mode, and I also have a tutorial map. So if you don't, like the tutorial or whatever, you can go into the tutorial map, just fly around, take a look and how to build this, and look at the details or whatever. So that is amazing. Also, the Discord is now open, so link is in the description. And without further ado, let's go into the video. Okay, as already said, I obviously have the map for you guys. So if you want to go a little bit more in depth and see how these things are placed, or if the video is too fast for you, you can just copy and paste the code. I will also have it in the description as well. And you can look like very closely here and, see some of the things that I did. And maybe it helps you to solve some problems. But obviously, let's go into it and how to make this. So we want to start off by obviously creating the area. So that is obviously fully on you, how you want to make this. This is mainly done with all the primitive shape gallery stuff. I think this blue tile here is from the normal cubes, but mainly this is fully made out of the primitive shapes. All of these are just singular shapes, super easy to make. Not hard at all. But obviously that is completely on you. You can choose whatever you want. The main important thing is though that you make sure that you kind of have an area where you play on. And important is that you obviously make sure that the players cannot jump off the map, that the players are not, choosing some shortcuts. So make sure that these are obviously high enough so players cannot jump on top of them. You can see here it's not possible. Also, same thing goes for the things outside of here. Make sure they're blocked. What you can use to block them is the objective device. I showed this like so many times. This is a perfect device to block off areas. All of the settings that you have to do in here are basically just put it to invulnerable, hide the health bar, turn it obviously invisible. This is turned on for tutorial reasons. But make it obviously invisible and then turn off the play audio. So there's nothing hard, then scale it up as big as possible and use it as a barrier. You can obviously use whatever you want as a barrier. You can obviously also use the normal barriers, but keep in mind this is like a pretty edgy terrain. So you might have a problem with just using the normal barriers. So next thing you want to do is place some spawn pads in the spawn. You don't have to change anything here. It is just a free fall mode. So you can just leave them here, and then what you want to do is just take the normal things here and just place them in 20 or whatever grid snap you have for your arena, and just place them on top of here. The players will just spawn on top of here, which is amazing, and that should be super easy to do. Alright, so let's move to the fun part and how we can explode the doors and how we can make them random. So first of all, how we explode the doors. We're using a trigger and explosive device system here. And basically how this works is if we run against this trigger, the door opens up or explodes. So let's go into the settings of the trigger devices, and you just have to copy and paste all of these and just change the numbers. So let's go into this one here, and you can see that there's not much to change. Obviously turn off the trigger sound, turn off the VFX. We have to disable them from the game start. We'll see that in a second why this is so. And then we have to enable when receiving from, do to a channel, and then when trigger transmit on, do that to a channel as well. Okay, let's move on to the explosive device. So in here you have to change a little bit more, but it's also not much. So the health to indestructible, obviously we don't want anyone to randomly destroy this for whatever reason or whatever. The blast radius to 25, depending on what you're obviously creating. So for this is perfect. If I place the explosive barrels right here, it only explodes the stuff that I want to, which is amazing. So obviously these are just interchangeable, so you have to put in what is best for your map here. Damage indestructible buildings, yes, because we have to make the whole map indestructible, otherwise we would just be able to destroy everything with just a pickaxe swing or whatever. So we want to do that. Turn knockback off, play audio to off. The range visualization is only important if you don't know how far 0.25 the radius is. So you can see that here, there's this little bubble here. So if I turn that off, I cannot see the bubble anymore. So like this. So you can see now I cannot see it. So if I turn it on again, you can see the bubble appears, and I can see that this fits perfectly and it doesn't destroy anything else, which is great. And then show health bar, no. Requires line of sight, no. Play audio, no. And then explode when receiving from a channel. So this has to be the same channel as the channel on front here. So this channel right here. So if I run against this, this should explode. The reason why we have enable here is because we want all of them to be disabled from the game start, and then let the randomizer choose which ones we want to have enabled, or let randomly enabled. So I can quickly show you this. You can see the red lights here, and if they are enabled, these lights turn blue, I think. So let's start the game quickly. So, and you can see that these 4 doors here are the ones that we can break through, and the other ones are not. So if I run against this trigger, you can see the door explodes and I could run through. If I run against this one, the door is closed, like it would be in the normal door dash. So if you go back to the settings of the trigger device, one thing which you then obviously have to do is turn them invisible. So turn visible in game to no, so you don't collide with them and you see the things actually in game. This is just so we can see them here in a tutorial. But if you walk to this door and if I start the game again, so if I pass this first area, which you can see they are still enabled, I can go to the second area here, and for example this one explodes and this one doesn't. So this is what it should look like if you made everything invisible. So the doors explode and there's no barriers or whatever triggers. So it's looking clean and fine. Great, and if you're done with that, you can just copy and paste all of them and put them to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. Obviously it gets a lot easier the further you go, because you don't have to do all these channels anymore, and with the last one it's only like 3 or so. So it gets easier with time. So how do we randomize them? So this is on the other side of the arena, and you can see here are a bunch of RNG devices. So if you don't know how the RNG device works, I have a tutorial for that. So don't go super in detail, but what you have to do here is basically go into the RNG device and change these settings. You only have to change these settings. You can leave everything else like it is. For the first row, you have to do a value of 7 because there are 7 doors. The winning value to 0, the roll time to instant, the zone to forward, so we can get a zone here. The length to 7 as well. Play audio to no, because that is just annoying. And then activate on game start. So what we then have to do is put in these little fields here. We have to put in trigger devices with the channels of the doors. So you can see here, this is channel 2, which relates to the first door here. And if I can get there, you can see that channel 2 is the one that gets enabled. We also have channel 4, channel 6, channel 8, and so on. So you can see that here. So we have channel 4, 6, 8, and so on. So as soon as then the game starts, the randomizer chooses one of them and enables one of them. So depending on how many doors you want to open for the first door, or for the first row, you have to add triggers for that. So you can just copy and paste this row, paste it a bunch of times. And so for the first row, I want to have 5 doors be opened. And I have to paste this 5 times. You don't have to change anything in them. Each randomizer would choose a different row, and sometimes they just choose the same, so you get unlucky or whatever. But that's the beauty of RNG. So you get 5 open doors on maximum, and it is super nice to do, super easy. Just copy and paste a bunch of times, and it should be good to go. And that is basically all you have to do here. There's nothing like too crazy. It is a super simple system. It requires a bunch of channels, yes, but even in comparison, this is actually super easy to make, and it is super random. You can have this round base, you can have this whatever. It resets every round, which is amazing. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you could create your own Fall Guys minigame, or enjoy playing the Fall Guys minigame if you're just here for that. As already said, I now have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord, the link is also in the description. I'm mainly focused on having creative stuff there, like a creative wiki where you can see different types of devices and what kind of attributes they have or whatever, and also tutorials on there and all kinds of creative stuff, map building competitions or something like that. So if you want to join, then the link is in the description, and hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you are a little bit smarter today, and I will see you guys back in my next video. Bye.